We live in this 21st century where the power of IT rules. Without the development of IT, the nation cannot develop. Talking about the same sector, today we have got an IT expert who is running different companies, KARVIKA THAPA. She is CEO of Kimbu Tech and many other organizations. Welcome to our program, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I just talked about Kimbu Tech. Apart from this, you are involved in different other IT sectors as well. Could you please introduce yourself a little bit in a detail?
Sure. Kimbu Tech, I'm the CEO there at Kimbu Tech, and I'm also running Simjang, which is a BPO business process optimization. I also recently part of the VS International College. I'm the director there. Apart, I wear different hats within this organization. Also part of CNIYEF, member there, and also within CNIYEF, part of the startup committee there, that we're trying to ignite the startup ecosystem here in Nepal. Other than that, I also run Women in Tech Facebook group, and many more other roles that I play in the society.
Great. What sort of activities or what sort of projects does Kimbu Tech carry on?
So primarily we provide, it's called employee augmentation. So basically we provide employees to tech companies or startups or any other companies as a tech resources from right here in Nepal. Primarily we work with Israel and USA. But other than that, there are some projects for different other countries that we use. But it's providing the development, the support, the services, whatever comes through the door, we analyze it and then see how we can deliver from right here in Nepal.
Is that only technical project lead or business analysis? And apart from that, what else? Could you be a little bit more specific to the projects that you are leading, like the areas that your company covers under this Kimbu Tech?
Sure. Kimbu Tech is one aspect of it. We've almost 5 years old now. And I'm glad we survived the 5 years with COVID and everything going on. Right now there's a international financial recession that we are all aware of it. So whatever comes, like for instance, one of the services we do provide is supporting an application. We provide 24-hour support. For one of the client, we provide customer service in terms of whatever they send through emails. And for some of them, we do developments, like developing products and services for them. Like for instance, if they have to build an app or they have an artificial intelligence products or things like that. That they need developers, then we provide developers, QA, project managers, whatever they need. However, so we sort of bring the projects into Nepal, sort of make the team comfortable, and then we make sort of an automation way where the client manages our employees, and we sort of manage them right here in Nepal.
Well, that's beautiful. How long have you been working in the IT sector, so to say?
So IT has been within me since 1999. That's where I think I started my undergraduate and my IT journey. And since then, it's almost probably been 23 years now. That's IT is still part of me, and it's growing and building every day.
Going back to your past, could you tell a little bit about the journeys that you have made till now, the obstacles that you have overcome, and the challenges that you are still facing?
So I did my schooling here from St. Mary's School, and then I did my high school in Delhi, then came back to Nepal, did my undergraduate in business information systems from KU. Went to Kathmandu College of Management, KCM, here in Balkumari as Satabatu, and did my MBA from US, from Michigan, and then worked in US for almost 14 years and came back to Nepal. So
That's great. Few are the people involved in IT company in the context of Nepal. And talking about females, the number is even less. What challenges do you think females are facing as an
as a female entrepreneur? I mean, I feel I'm fortunate enough, and I had some of my own backups, but no doubt I felt that in my journey. And there's a lot more challenges, in terms of from finance to building a trust, to seeing a role models in the sector, to growing the business where it's all male dominated or male centered business. It's hard to enter those market and then capture those market or increase your market share in those market when you are alone in the table, when you're only the sole person from your side representing yourself. There's a lot more challenges that exist for women entrepreneurs, but I would also say that there's a lot more opportunities that is evolving on the good side. There's a lot more opportunities that are opening up for female entrepreneurs, and people want to give it a chance. People want to give that opportunity. The parents want to support their daughters in the entrepreneur journey. The husbands are changing. The society is changing. So I think we have to be optimistic here, and we all have to work this together to make that change and to create this environment where it's an equal field, and then equal playing field where women don't have to run when we are providing them an equal landfill for them to win the race.
Well, my point is, apparently you see that there are a lot of chances or there are a lot of, positive aspects. But there are certain deep-rooted social instincts, I would rather say.
Yeah.
How did you overcome them?
I think I'm still overcoming every day. I'm still learning every day. I'm still not being guilty of leaving my kids home on a Sunday or on a holiday. So those things I think will exist, and so the deep-rooted things are so deep-rooted that has been within our society for generations.
And it's very difficult to uproot them right
And it's
now.
very difficult to identify that, you're getting up and you have to go to work and you have in-laws in your house, and, you have responsibility that needs to be done, and how do we do it, and when you have to come late, when you have to work hard. All of those things, believe me, I've, dealt with it. I've worked with, challenges on finances. I've worked with challenges on, explaining to my dad that I can do this, and it's okay that I can come late from work because I was working very hard because I have a release coming in. And it's okay to explain to my husband. So, those are the things
He
that...
understands because he's also from the IT field.
And he's lived with me in US, and he's seen, other side of the world.
So you're fortunate enough.
Exactly.
You must have been to different parts of Nepal where the social scenario is even much more terrible than one can ever imagine.
Yeah.
So in order to inspire youths, in order to inspire females, you've been to different nooks and corners of Nepal. Could you tell me a little bit about your travel?
Yes. So for me, wherever I go, I feel all the women are heroes. All the moms are heroes, that are raising their kids and trying to run their household and trying to, feed them the right food, the fresh cooked food, because that is so much more. And still their dreams are buried. They couldn't dream about what they want to become. And I recently was in Bhairava, and part of the, during the election, and I got to meet many young girls. And I asked them, what what dreams do you have, or what do you want to grow up when you, what do you want to become when you grow up? And they didn't have words, they didn't. And I told them, no, you have to dream big. You have to dream something. You have to, So I feel like in our country we are not even giving them opportunity to dream. I think that's a very sad for us, but we have this women power, this, generations where the moms, the grandmoms have stood strong, killing their hopes, killing their dreams, killing their career, killing their, desire to run a family in the right way, and to see their kids
grow up in a different scenario.
Yeah, and just to let their kids dream, so that their dreams are also fulfilled by the kids. So I hope we don't have to do that anymore. I hope our girls can dream, our girls can reach there, our boys can dream and our boys can reach there. And hopefully when they become dad and mom or mother, their dreams are not shattered and their dreams are not buried inside, in the hopes that their kids will fulfill their dreams, right? So we've done this for so many years. I hope we end that, and we can dream about it and we can live on that dream.
So let me talk about your dream. You must have had different dreams when you went to America. Majority of youth settle in the USA after their educational attainment. You come back to Nepal. So
yeah.
Have your expectations been fulfilled, or are you on the way?
So when I was going to US, I think my dreams were different. My dreams was about surviving in the US market. I'm totally from the eastern side to a western world, totally from a developing countries or least developed countries at that time to a most developed advanced economy. Coming from this culture, totally a different culture, to a very independent culture. So all of these things were challenges going to US, and I had to learn that, and I had goals to, work for big companies. I had goals to earn 6-figure salary. I had goals to have a white fence yard, big home, big cars or nice cars, and travel around the world for holidays and vacation. So I think I lived most of my dream there. But when I came to Nepal, I had to recreate my dream. When I came to Nepal, I thought there are so many people that would like to dream the same topic, and we have to change that. We have to work to get more women leaders. We have to work to become more level field economy, where a girl and a boy both can have a dream and they have an equal, field where they're trying to race. So my dream changed when I came here, and I had to redefine my goals. My goals have become more deeper now, and I feel more impactful right now, because I feel like I have to give back more to this country, to this society, versus when I was in US, I was like, I need to get more dollars, more money, more, my time value is more important. Here, I need to
Even values have changed. So to say.
Exactly. Here, I feel like I need to, change the mindset, or I need to work towards an optimistic mindset.
How compatible is it for you to work here with the changed dreams that you have recently harbored? Development of the society and all, and the difficulties of the government system to become a female entrepreneur. So could you talk a little bit on that?
Yeah. It's very challenging. Coming back, it took almost a year for me to get adjusted, relearning the culture and readjusting to the culture and regrowing into this culture. And same thing with my family. My kids growing up and bringing them here and regrowing them in this culture. So we all had to take a step back, and then trying to understand what's going on between the families, what's going on between the culture, what's okay, what's not okay, what kind of conversation you can have, what not. And similar in the business, in the entrepreneur journey, like how does the finances work, how doesn't female entrepreneur is trusted to give, in terms of her vision to start a business. Right now, a lot of the banks and government, they're trying to change, but we are not there yet. Still, women entrepreneurs are struggling in finances. Still, there are very less women leaders in every industry. If you talk about in tech industry, we have very limited tech leaders. You can count in fingers the amount of tech leaders that exist. In banks, I don't know how many CEOs exist right now as a female. So every sector,
Almost none, I suppose, in the context of Nepal.
exactly, right? So that tells us the truth that we have a lot more work to do as a country, as a society, as an institution, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a women leader, as a tech leader. We have a lot more work to do, and slowly be optimistic. We can't change the deep-rooted culture, but one step at a time.
Well, getting into your personal life, sometimes don't you think that it's a kind of injustice that I brought my children back here from USA where they could have availed many more opportunities?
That always exists. I was living in Boston, which is, world's one of the top educational hub, from kindergarten to, high school, kindergarten to my PhD level, and the chances for the kids around the Boston area school system is higher to go to Harvard and MITs and big schools. But I'm growing them up here. But I feel that they will learn a lot more here. Education is a lot more about being empathetic, a lot more being, here they have a lot more opportunities in terms of culture, in terms of society.
Even if it's a cultural affinity and proximity is better here.
Exactly. As we are least developed countries and we're slowly going into the developing countries. The journey when a country goes from a developing to the developed path is where most of the opportunity exists, because we have to grow and we have to build and we have to relearn. We have to do so many things, so that uncertainty environment makes a person more resilient. The harsh environment make your kids much stronger. That's what I feel. And as both of my kids' parents grew up here and we survived in a US economy, we worked for Fortune 500 companies. So why not them? They always have a chance where they want to make an impact here in Nepal, or they want to settle in US. It's up to them. But what I would like to say is, if I'm being a little bit selfish here as a mom, that if they can give back to the society and they can contribute something to this society, I think I would be a proud mom at that time.
We are really, happy that your children are going to learn here, and very few other mothers would think that way. Well, let's talk about core human values. As you grew up in as you grew up here and, got opportunity to study there. So what are the core human values that you lacked there and, this missed once you were there?
I think the few core values that I really missed, is being connected with the society. I think we can make, we are in a culture where, your neighbor can be a family, your uncle and aunts makes your decision. You go to this village and they welcome you and give you food and they share whatever they have. All of these things matter when you go to a different culture, Your country matters. You value more your country when you're outside. You value your culture more when you are outside. You value dal bhat more when you are outside, right? So all of these things matter. And we, Dasai mattered so much more when we were there, coming together as a Nepalese community to celebrate Dasai. Here it was like we were young no, one more Dasai, how boring. So I think you value your culture more, your country more. You become more patriotic to the country, and I think all of the NRNs that are living abroad, I think they feel the same thing. That's why they are hurt when the situation of the country is like this. They feel more hurt when people are migrating to the other countries. I had to migrate to a different country, right? Because the opportunity did not exist here. And, though it was a little bit easier for me, but the migration journey is harder for anyone because I had to leave my family, I had to leave my country, I had to live everything here that I was comfortable in and miss that for the next 14, 18 years, right? So all of those values, and we here, we have a culture, we have a family group culture that we call in our books, and the US or Western world, they have more sort of an independent culture.
Since you have learned both cultures, the corporate culture in the USA and the corporate culture here, what advantages have you taken? I mean, what positive aspects do you think you can imply here in your organization?
I think that's a very good question. And, what we try to do as a family, me and my husband, we try to use the best of both culture. We are so independent in terms of our business. He runs his own company, I run my own company. We have our, common discussion. We, sometimes compete with each other. But not just as a couple, we try to pursue the good values of the developed countries, and we try to embrace, learn, and grow and adapt and still win and be optimistic in this group-oriented culture, right? So we use the best of both worlds. And I think we've been very successful in terms of, how we've pursued. We are here in Nepal and we still live independently, not with my in-laws, not with my parents. We have our own house that we built. We live with our kids very independently. All of our finances we handle ourselves. Because those were valued when we were in US. But other things that we try to embrace here in Nepal is we try to attend as many cultural festivals as much as we can from our work, and we try to give our kids that culture, that society, the marriage process, the Saradhe process, which comes unfortunately twice a year. So the values behind it, why we are doing it, why we should be doing it, the Sanskrit mantras, the values behind it, the Hinduism behind it. Though we lived in a different country and I went to a Christian school, I value both of all religion. Like, I pursue meditation from Buddhism. I pursue, independent, many things from, Christianity, but my core values are still Hinduism, right? So similar to, I do the same thing, use the best of different culture and different countries. And
so far as the corporate culture is concerned, how do you, take, how do you imply these two cultures in your organization?
I think we would also have to consider the third culture there, which is our client. So sometimes, we have to, some of our clients are Israeli clients, and the culture is totally different, from them. So we try to adjust the client's culture, the country's culture, and then sort of the American culture of doing things in the tech sector, because they've been leading most of the things. So we have to learn a lot of the principles from the American system, right? So trying to mix all of these culture, but the fun part is when you mix them and you try to use the best of everything. I think the journey has been wonderful, and it's very challenging, but it's fun.
Great. There are diversified fields of tech, so to say.
Yes.
So what do you suggest to Nepali youths, both males and females?
I think as leaders, educational academians, as tech industries, right? We've been lacking in terms of explaining the opportunities of tech to our people, to the next generation. we haven't been able to explain to them what opportunities lies there, what is an international opportunities, what is the international challenges that we can solve. So we, as from various institutions, we are lacking in terms of sort of lacking in marketing to explain the scope, the challenges, the opportunities to our young generation. So tech, you don't have to be tech person to actually be in the tech sector.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that, and especially girls, they come to me and say, oh, I'm not a fond of computers, I don't want to sit in front of the computer
So even
all day.
doctors and engineers
Exactly.
and teachers like us should be, this quite tech friendly.
Exactly.
But we really don't venture, we don't really have that courage to get into that sector, because we think the first thing is that we are not tech friendly,
Exactly.
and the next thing is that I don't have enough money.
Exactly. So tech has now been integrated to every sector. So if you want to become a teacher, and if you want to become, a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become a project manager, whatever field, tech is sort of integrated now. And tech is impacted our life. We are in social media almost, at least 3-4 hours a day. And people, even in the rural areas, they've become so accustomed with TikToks and other tools. Social media, they have to be accustomed with it. But we don't know how to use the tech to be productive, to increase our ROIs in our companies, to invest in the tech products so that the returns we haven't been good in terms of explaining that. Why would a company invest 10 lakh to do client management or to patient management in the hospital? Why would a hospital invest 10 lakh in a patient management? Right? But the hospital needs to understand that first of all, they're not going to lose a patient. First of all, they can get their ROIs. The 10 lakh can be generated so easily.
That money can be generated.
But that mindset hasn't reached us because we are in a least.
Is it the business idea that counts more, or the finance in the context of Nepal?
Like in terms of starting a new business?
Yeah.
I think both is important, right? But we haven't valued idea
in terms
as much
of IT sector, so to say.
We haven't. Most of the startups or most of the unicorns, which we call them unicorns around the world. Unfortunately, we haven't had any unicorns born here in Nepal, but there's many unicorns in India and other parts of the world. But so they started with an idea and they sort of build them, and they have a culture of startup economy where the investors come in, where they you're open up to different countries. So those mindsets are slowly coming to Nepal. We have a few private equity firms that recently got licensed. We had FTIs that slowly getting better. FTI used to be a big challenge. It used to take almost 6 months to a year and a half to get an approval for FTIs. A lot of these challenges are slowly being understood by the government, and it will change. But idea is as important. People, as the world is growing, and the smaller ideas, the smaller problems that we are solving in everyday life is so important that needs to bring in. But the other piece is the finance. I think finance should be the least thing that a country or a product should be worried about. But unfortunately, in our country, we don't understand that business and finance, there's a lot more cultural thing like collaterals, and a lot of these things kind of make it very hard, especially on the women entrepreneurs. They are, it's a challenge for them to get a loan, or a family member trusting them to start a business. So a lot of these deep-rooted cultural thing exists for women entrepreneurs. But, I feel positive, and it's changing, and there is, a lot more momentum. From
the difficulties are not as many as people used to face some 10 or 20 years back.
Exactly. Exactly.
because the mindsets are also changing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get to another question. We have heard everywhere digital Nepal. How can we make this dream come true? I mean, internationally digital Nepal.
Well, first of all, I think we as tech leaders have been working very hard to make that dream come true. We're meeting with world banks, we're meeting with many organizations that have now started to believe that the concept of digital Nepal, that we have to put Nepal in the digital map. The rest of the world doesn't understand that Nepal can be digitally advanced. Our employees can contribute to the world tech development. All of those things, portray that to the world, right? So if you go to Israel and try to explain that you want to do a tech company in Nepal and give the development in Nepal, why would they believe you, right? They would not believe you because they know us for Mount Everest, they know us for many other things, caregivers, Sanuki-san, lot more things, but they don't understand that Nepal could be a tech hub, for them. During a financial recession that's going on around the world right now, there's layoffs and cost cutting in every big companies, so Nepal has an opportunity to be in the digital map and say that we are open. We have 3 million population, young population, we have good education system, we can train our people, we can produce. Right now we have not been good at producing the tech resources. Tribhuvan University just gives us 35 people. You've been in the academic sector and you know that Tribhuvan University only gives us 35 quotas, 35 per batch for BCA degree, which is a good degree and which is growing. And with 35 people is not enough to be in the digital, to call ourselves as a digital Nepal. We need to produce at least 20 to 30,000 tech resources, and that's how India and that's how Philippines and that's how Bangladesh did it, right? So we need to produce more tech resources. The universities need to give us more quotas to work on it, to produce the world-class institution, to train, have training academies in 7 provinces to reach at the grassroots level and train different levels of trainings in the tech sector. So a lot more work needs to be done to bring tech business in Nepal, to increase our tech exports, tech resource exports, so that we can bring in more dollars to Nepal as the financial crisis is happening. So this is critical, and I hope the government understands that. I hope everybody understands that. I hope the NRNs that are outside and are looking to contribute to Nepal, they can become the ambassadors to bring the business to Nepal, so that we have more dollars coming in, we have more resources that do not have to migrate to other countries. They can make good money here and contribute to this economy. And believe me, we can do this. I've tried in 5 years and we've grown, like crazy. And then we can do it. We can do it. We can produce world-class. My developers are working for the top companies in the world. And why not? Let's, work, all come together. The academians, the industry, the civil society, leaders,
the government,
the parents, everybody coming together as a society and saying that let's create digital Nepal and let's all work together. And I think we can do it. Bangladesh recently did it and we can do it.
Thank you so much. We are towards the end of the program. Thank you so much for coming to our studio despite your hectic time schedule.
It was fun. Thank you so much.
Namaskar. In the days to come as well, I would invite different experts. Keep yourself healthy. Stay happy. Thank you.